How's it going? Hope you're having a great day, and welcome to this new style of videos. The quality we're going to have to kind of roll with for now. May eventually I'll upgrade, but it is what it is, and I'm excited to roll with this series, though, of videos that's a little bit different than normal. And this was inspired by the photographer Alex Soth, and he started making these types of videos early pandemic showing photo books. And I've showed I've shown photo books over the years. I've been recently talking about like top fives, and that's a new series I'm doing, and I'm starting off with the William Eggleston Democratic Forest 10-volume set. And I've been thinking about how I'm making these videos, and I really have enjoyed Alex Soth's videos and how they're presented. And it's like that. It's like a slight professional, slight engaging. It's just like this. Just a little bit more. It's just a step up of, I guess, telling a story in a video in the simplest of ways. You know what I mean? It's the way I filmed them. In the past, like it's just I'm filming myself holding the book up to the camera, and that has its place as well. But there's something about the way Sos presents his videos that it threw me back to 2000. I don't know if I was actually streaming it in 2016 or if it was 2017, but I actually streamed my editing process for a book I made on the Cleveland Cavaliers championship parade. And it was kind of that same kind of concept, but it was me talking in the camera and then the computer screen. So kind of the same logic in a sense, but this is showing more physical items, which that's really what I'm gearing towards. But also, I want to say, since I have this setup, I also want to go back into messing around with editing videos and just talking about stuff digitally as well. But definitely going to be focusing on the prints and showing these photo books in this type of format. So I thought today we would start off by, I've been doing a lot of thinking, a lot of reflecting on photography and how I want to go forward with it. I'm kind of over the idea of, and I've talked about this briefly here and there, of just like the single photo here and there. Like obviously I'm gonna do it, but I want to think differently because it's really funny. And I guess today's theme is gonna be slightly on Alex Soth as well. He came out, his most recent book is A Pound of Pictures, and it's basically he took all the photographs in the book, but there's, the theme of a bunch of photos. You know what I mean? That he would buy photos in bulk off eBay, like actual prints of photos of just random family photos, vacation photos, whatever it is. He would buy them by the pound, and that made me think of Instagram. Like, say if you go to like a flea market and there's a table and it's all just scattered photos of people you don't know, and maybe it's whatever locations you kind of have a sense of where it's at, even though they're random photos that you're looking at. Like when you see them, you'd probably you'd walk past the table and be like, oh, that's interesting, oh, that's an interesting one, and then you'd kind of keep going. And I feel like that's what it is with Instagram. It's just so like wishes past your brain. I've always brought up the idea of like, I'm sure you opened up Instagram an hour ago. Do you remember a single photo from an hour ago? Do you remember any photo from yesterday, last week, last month? Those photos are gone. Unless you like lurk back in someone's profile, you'll never see that photo again. And that's what's interesting, and that's what I love about prints and photo books is that they have a place. And it makes me think about the books that are back here. And if you watch my videos, you can tell I've done a lot of changes in my studio space here, which I'm going to make a video on that as well. Just kind of, it's actually been a nice therapeutic type thing of just like really like just clearing things up, making things more organized, and especially like with my photo books. I mean, the books themselves are not organized, but they're by a photographer essentially. But like when I'm seeing these books and then like looking at these photos, and it got me thinking, and I thought the idea of like since I'm thinking this way and wanting to do social media somewhat differently to try to make I want to treat social media, even though it's not built this way, and that's fine, but I want to treat it like it's Life magazine. You know what I mean? Like it's, like it's I'm doing something for Magnum, or it's like I want to make it seem special for me. Like if I go on there, I'm sure like right now it's all just political stuff and memes and just mash of just stuff. But I want to treat it differently, and I'm hoping that will like reflect out, and it's become more, whether it is more noticeable or just the way I present it. I just want it to look different than how it's just normally ran. Anyways, what I've figured I'd do, especially to start this new format of making these videos, is I'm gonna go back to the beginning and show photos I don't think I've ever shown before. So I started shooting photos seriously in 2003, which is kind of crazy because next year it's gonna be 20 years of taking photos. If you don't know, I started into getting into filming, and I was filming my skateboarding friends. We were out making videos, and I went to a friend's house, and I was already friends with a filmer and photographer, Michael Larkey. Still friends with him to this day, and we're always chatting photography. We lurk the streets. We're still shooting photos. We're still doing our thing this many years later. But this is early on. Yeah, I might have known him for a few years at this point. I think I did. I think I met him in 2001. But I never really went on like photo missions with him before this time in 2003. There was filming. We'd film some stuff. He made a short film called October. And anyways, I don't think I actually was present for a photo shoot, like a skate photo shoot or whatever he was doing, because the first time I really noticed photography, and this is what's funny, like I've seen magazines, right? When I was younger, I was in my friend's driveway. Larky was there, and I remember we were in a van. I have no idea whose van it was, and we're just in the driveway, and I don't know what he had, I don't know what it was, but he had slides, and I remember seeing these, and maybe it's because it was people I've met or what, something clicked. Like I seen these skate photos, and that was the day I was like, I'm a photographer. Like I just chose that's what I'm doing. I basically probably that day, once I got home, I knew that there was a camera in the house, with my family when I was a youngster at that day or that time period, and there was a point and shoot Minolta camera, and that's what I started shooting photos with, and so. These are the early photos taken from that time period. And I want to show this first one because I really feel like this is like one of the original photos that I took. And so let me zoom in on this here. So this was in my, so this is in the front yard of my dad's house, family house, whatever at the time, and just took the camera outside and was taking photos of flowers and whatnot. And the interesting thing is, this is the beginning of the school year in 2003. I was a senior, and we had an art class. Very few of us did. If you took an art class for every 4 years of high school, you're able to take a 5th art class within that senior year called Studio Problems. And this photo here is like a prime reminder of my art teacher. It's really funny because I was talking about Alex Soth earlier. I'm going to go back to Alex Soth where he mentions where he has this great teacher. He had this great teacher, when he was younger and, very influential. For me, unfortunately, it was complete opposite. I had a very bitter and maybe just, I don't know, and it's hard to say too because maybe just a sad individual, but just not a good teacher. Very poor teacher. He was just very one track mind, and it was like whatever type of skill he had, which I'm not too. I think he was into like messing with like some. I don't know. It was like this thing that he did. So those like sculptures, sculptures are cool. I built my own head, which I'll show that someday. I have a bust of my own head. It's insane, actually. I built it with one arm, one hand, because I had a I had this external fixed area thing, and that's actually kind of part of the story. I should show the bust sometime. But anyways, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna do like I can do my own projects and studio problems. So I have this newfound love for photography, and I'm gonna just do a photo and make a big print of it. Like this is 2003. This is not how photography is now. So like at that time, making a big print, I'm like, cool. That's no one's doing that. You know what I mean? So, and this is one of the first photos I shot. It's actually not like, I don't know if I don't. It might be like in focus right in here. I don't even know what's going on with the focus. I don't even think it's in focus at all, to be honest. And it was the on-camera flash was on. But what's awesome, it's got this, obviously it has this butterfly and it has this bee right here in the corner. And the way the flash worked, it kind of just washed out all the lines of the flowers pretty much. So it's just like, it almost looks like a painting in a weird way. So anyways, I got this photo back. I was like, oh, it's amazing, especially at this time. This is shooting film. I dropped all my film off from the time I started shooting film till I stopped shooting film. I learned to develop black and white film later on just because I wanted to learn it. But in the days I was shooting film, I developed everything at Walgreens. Everything. So anyways, got this developed, and there's nothing like getting film back shooting photos. Like when I shoot digitally, I don't really pay too much attention to the back of the camera, like often, especially when I'm just walking around. I make sure I get the quick review and I know it's there, right? So I do have that sense that I know what the photo looks like. So it's not the same. Like this was like, you shoot, especially hit this time period where I didn't really have much money. I was developing rolls at, one time. So I could have photos from a month or 2 months ago being developed with something I shot like a week ago, depending on when I would end up with money. So anyways, I got this photo made. I actually got this blown up, I believe at Staples. I think it was Staples. It was either that or Office Max, one of those types of places. I don't remember the size. It wasn't even huge. Maybe 12 by 18, something like that. And I matted it, and I was like really excited to turn this in. And he thought it was like the teacher did not believe me that it was not manipulated. And I got a D. Like this is just like the straight photo. This is the actual print from when I got developed, and it's just really interesting that I was like, I didn't do anything. Like it is kind of interesting when you look at the butterfly. There's like this white glow right in here, around the butterfly. I don't even think it's a glow. Maybe it is. I think it's just like the butterfly has like a white edge, so like just a flash, enhance that or something. But it's just very fascinating that back in this time period, and someone like having a new passion and making a thing and taking the time to do all that for one of many projects I had to basically make my own project and turn it in. It's just very interesting as a teacher to act that way. So I wanted to start off with that because this is like very early on, and I started off basically with someone saying like, oh yeah, this you made this photo up. So it's kind of an interesting little story to start my photographic life. Soon after I started shooting photos, and we're also getting into black and white photos here, because when I first started shooting, I was really experimenting like what I wanted to shoot, color or black and white. So soon after I started shooting photos, I took a trip to Philly. And this here is Larky, who I talked about, who I've seen his photos. And it was just, we'd go to this bagel place in the morning. and I think I had like cinnamon bagels every time I went. I think I might have had like $30 to my name at this time period. Um, but this was a special trip in all sorts of ways. I think about it a lot, actually. Um, yeah, I think it has to do with just the time in my life and being having that new drive and the new passion, that just that feeling of being a photographer, it was the start. Um, so, I shot some color film and then swapped out to a roll of black and white and shot this photo. I really like this one. Compositions, I like the composition. I like just like the crossing the legs, and the arms up, just like the, um, just like being like hunched over like this on the right side. There's something about this photo, you kind of just want to look at it, and I've always liked it. I think it's just like that lighting is really nice too. So those, so these were 2003, and then so we get into. I wanted to show this. I want to do more of these old film photos, but I knew this video would be a little bit longer, so I wanted to do like 3 of each. So we get into the next year, 2004, still a senior into the summer after high school. Got a couple black and whites. I thought I'd show this one. This is when I met Sadie, which if you've been a follower of my website, OGbsmitty.com, she did a lot to kind of help me learn photographing people. So yeah, met her back in 2004, and it's just nothing special about this photo. It was just a quick snap when there's a short film being made in Oberlin, Ohio, and it's just me lurking around, just taking photos. This is at Midway Mall in Elyria, Ohio. Midway Mall now it's run down. It's just there's not much going on there. But back in this time period, this is pre-social media. This is like the AIM days. AOL, Instant Messenger. I think MySpace is kicking in here, or maybe MySpace was around. Not too sure. But MySpace wasn't social media. I mean, it's not what it is today. It was more of like your own little website. Yeah, MySpace was totally different than what say like Facebook is today. I actually really enjoyed MySpace at the time, though. To be honest, the bulletin board thing was still one of my favorite social media setups of all time. Anyways, this was shot there, and this is just like one of those times where it reminds me of just like youth in a lot of ways, and being carefree with the camera, and just like, hey, I still carry a camera with me all the time, and this is just a great reminder of like, I'm just walking around with a flash, popping a flash in the middle of the mall. Like, I wish there was like just some video footage of me at this time, like just be real. And that's in a way that's why I do document what I do, because for me it's fascinating, just watching time, and it would be cool to see myself back shooting this photo. And I thought I'd end this with another kind of first type thing. So this is Christian Svitak. This is the very first skate photo I ever shot of him. I was against a wall. This is literally the furthest I can go back. And I couldn't go back enough. I'm not too sure of the focal length of this camera, but so yeah, cut off the little bit of the bottom there, which is, you still see the ground, so at least I accomplished that. His hand comes out the top there. But yeah, this was he was actually out here he needed a filmer, and I had filming experience, but I really wanted to shoot photos, and so when he was warming up, I just asked. I was like, "Hey, can I shoot a photo?" And he didn't know I took photos. And this is again, I just have a point and shoot. I'm like, "Oh yeah, I shoot photos. I have this camera." And but yeah, I'm glad I got this photo. Interesting photo or interesting story about this photo is um, that we filmed the trick he wanted to film this day, and then he went back. I don't know if it was the next day or a few days later, and he was there with another photographer who was actually working for the magazine he was shooting for. I think it was in town or whatever. So they wanted to get like a fisheye photo or something. I can't remember what's going on. Or maybe they're filming a different angle. I think that's all it was for. I think maybe they're here to film another angle because I filmed a fisheye, and I think he wanted to film the top angle too. Something like that. There's some reason he went back, and I wasn't there for it. And he actually fell from basically the top, the rail down, hit his head, and had to fly back to California in a wheelchair, if I can remember correctly. And that was a gnarly fall for sure. That ended up in a skate video. But yeah, so this was the first time I shot photos of him, and then from there, I mean, we had a lot of work together in Thrasher, Trans World, pretty much everything. Skateboard Mag, Skateboarder. I mean, printed stuff in Japan. I mean, I remember the last count. I can't remember. I think our last published photo might have been 4 years ago now, but we had over, I think, 40 photos published from, anywhere from like a Midwest type magazine to like the worldwide type publication. So we had a lot of work out there, and I just wanted to show this because this is really just like the early start, you know what I mean, of, photography for me. These are kind of just these crucial things that happened within 1 year that really just defined, or not even defined, just set me in the path I went with photography. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video in this format, and I'm excited to do more of these, do the photo book, the 5 favorite photo books series I'm working on this way. Definitely excited for it. And if you could, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I truly appreciate it. And follow me over on Instagram at OGbsmitty. And lurk at all things, of course, at bsmitty.com. And I'll see you in the next video.